I've said it before. It seems like I say it every week now, but it feels like we have themes that develop organically every week here on the channel. About this time every week, I notice the theme that is developing. And this week, it is the COVID war going on in the NBA. I know we talked about this issue several times this week, but I'm going to put a little bit of a new spin on it in this video. Both Jay Williams and Draymond Green, two people I usually don't agree with, have been spitting the truth in the last 24 hours. But I noticed something in this clip that I'm about to play from Jay Williams. I'm going to play the clip in its entirety. It's about 2 minutes long because I want you to really get the entire message of what he's saying. There's one part, though, at the very end that I'm going to expound on. So let's go ahead and roll the clip.
Yo, two things that really bother me, damn it. And I have to tell you this shit because I have to get it off my mind. I didn't even curse like that, but obviously, this really bothers me. Number one, the media is a problem. The fear-mongering needs to stop. Every damn narrative I've read over the past several days, and I'll use the NBA as a microcosm of the bigger issue, is the unvax versus the vax. The minority's voice that shouldn't be heard. The progressive NBA is not setting the right example. Oh, what's going on? Andrew Wiggins, Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, the municipalities in cities like Toronto, New York, San Francisco. This is problematic because the real narrative is over 90% of the damn NBA is vaccinated. Is vaccinated. But what do? We double down. We triple down on the unvaxxed and we turn into the unvaxxed versus the vax. Don't do that. Stop doing that. And number two, this really bothers me even more than number one. For anybody out there that uses belittling language, to people out there that debase people who are unvaxxed, to people out there that try to talk down to people that are unvaxxed, you are part of the damn problem. Because how you communicate a message to somebody will dictate whether they actually receive your message or not. How you advocate for somebody on where they get their resources from as it relates to their knowledge about certain subject matter will dictate whether that person actually hears you or not. So stop talking down to people. Stop making this about unvax versus vax. We're one damn people. And obviously, we need to move forward collectively together, and we need to talk more sense to people instead of talking nonsense to them about making them feel smaller or beneath us because they're not thinking the way we're thinking. That's my 2 cents for today.
Everything that Jay Williams just said, I agree with 100%. The last 10 to 15 seconds, though, that was the most interesting part of the clip to me. When he says, we need to talk more sense to people instead of nonsense because they're not thinking the way that we're thinking. Let me tell you why that's so interesting. The NBA has spent the last 12, 18 months talking nonsense to its fan base. Nonsense actually is too nice of a word. The last 12 to 18 months, the NBA, led by guys like LeBron James, has been promoting bullshit. They've been promoting lies. Telling your fan base they're racist if they voted for Donald Trump. Alienating half of your audience because of political reasons. Boycotting playoff games because some criminal was shot by the cops when he was going for a damn gun. And now, even though I agree with LeBron James, even though I agree with Draymond Green, the other NBA players who are fighting against vaccine mandates, even though I support them in this fight, this should not be their fight. This should not be an NBA issue. Cole Beasley led the fight against the vaccine mandate in the NFL, but did you notice that story never really gained all that much traction? It was talked about for a day or two here and there, but it was never really a big story in the NFL. Why? Even though the NFL is supposedly doubling down on the social justice politics this season, it really hasn't been that bad. It kind of gets swept under the rug. It's like, yeah, we're promoting social justice, kind of, maybe. In reality, we just want to keep the media and the woke off our backs. The COVID war in the NBA It has been headline news all week, really the past 2 weeks. It is talked about on morning talk shows on network television, being covered on cable news. This is the biggest story in the NBA right now. Hell, it's the biggest story in the NBA since last summer when they went woke. It's not supposed to be that way. Training camp started in the NBA this week. The talk should be about who's the favorite to win the title, which teams are rebuilding, which are playoff contenders. What's going to happen with Zion Williamson in New Orleans? The Zion story in New Orleans, that should be leading NBA headlines right now, but it's not. Instead, everyone is talking about a damn vaccine, a political issue. I go back to my original question. Why? Why is this the NBA's war to fight? Because they put themselves in this situation. This is the result. This is what happens when you invite politics into your league. Roger Goodell, whether you like him or not, Roger Goodell has been brilliant in how he's handled the pressure to promote social justice. He has figured out a way to appease the idiots while also not alienating his audience. Adam Silver didn't do that. He listened to LeBron James. He allowed the woke to infect the NBA. Hell, he not only allowed it, he opened the damn door. Come on in, social justice warriors. There's always a place for you in the NBA. They have paid the price in the ratings the last couple of years. Now they're paying that price again. Here's the problem. When you align yourself with these people, you will never satisfy them. Nothing you do will ever be enough. Look at what's happening right now. 95% of NBA players are vaccinated. 95%. But what is the woke media? What are they focusing on? What are people like Mark Cuban focusing on? Someone I used to respect. Mark Cuban's actually someone I used to have a lot of admiration for. I don't know who the hell this guy is today, but it ain't Mark Cuban. The Mark Cuban I knew of had a mind of his own. But what are they focusing on? They're focusing on the 5% of players who aren't vaccinated. The first time the NBA fell out of line with the agenda, the media turned their back on them. I'm glad Jay Williams finally realized what we've been saying here on the channel for over a year now. The media is the problem. The mainstream media here in America, it is a disease. These people are the lowest of the low. The worst people in this country, it's not the criminals. It's not the people illegally crossing the border. The worst people in this country are the media and the politicians. Mediaite covered the Draymond Green press conference yesterday. Draymond Green came to the defense of Andrew Wiggins. He dropped a lot of gems in this press conference. We'll go over some of those here in just a second. But in this Mediaite article, one line said, although remaining unvaccinated can be harmful to others. How? How can someone who is unvaccinated be harmful to the ones that are vaccinated? Now, of course, the writer doesn't explain that. That would require the media to do their job instead of talking out of their ass. I just don't understand. If you're vaccinated against the COVID, how can someone that's unvaccinated harm you? The last time I checked, it didn't matter who had the damn vaccine, you can still get the COVID. Just like when you get the flu vaccine, you can still get the flu. Draymond Green talked about the COVID becoming a political war. He said America is supposed to be the land of the free, yet they don't want to give people the freedom to choose whether or not to get this vaccine. It's a great point by Draymond Green. He went on to say that he remembered the days when voting was private, when the political views of athletes were private. If a player was Republican or Democrat, people didn't know. This is where Draymond Green lost me a little bit. Yes, I remember those days too. They weren't that long ago. I don't know, 5 years. Donald Trump getting into office sent career politicians along with the mainstream media into a panic. In the NBA, they tied themselves to that movement. Draymond Green You were a part of it, dude. If I remember correctly, you were on those championship Warriors teams who refused to go to the White House because Donald Trump was president. Now, you want to complain about a lack of privacy? I support your stance on the COVID, dude. I really do. But you are part of the reason that the NBA is in the situation that it's in today. You guys are now paying the price. The loan is due. Like I said, there is no appeasing the woke. You either comply or you face the wrath of the media. And the media is shitting all over the NBA right now. Over 5% of its players not being vaccinated. Have you ever stopped to wonder why there was so much resistance to Donald Trump? As you guys know, I was never a Trumper, but I'm also not anti-Trump. These athletes, these NBA players, they were used by the agenda. They got played, and they didn't even know they were in the game. LeBron James, Draymond Green, Kyrie Irving, they all got played. They were convinced that Donald Trump was the enemy, and they used their platform to get him out of office. But again, why was there so much resistance to Donald Trump? Is it because he was Republican? No. Athletes always visited the White House when George Bush was in office. Is it because Donald Trump was rich, a billionaire? No. NBA players are rich. Is it because Donald Trump was racist? No. Even though that's the narrative, there's no proof that Donald Trump was racist. The woke agenda, far left and far right politicians, the media, they didn't hate Donald Trump because of who he was. Although it seemed personal, it wasn't personal. They hated Donald Trump because of what he represented. Donald Trump represented progress. He represented change. He proved that a celebrity, someone who is not a career politician with no experience in politics, could run for president and win. They don't want that in Washington, D.C. That is their worst nightmare, an outsider running the country, because it ruins their gravy train. NBA players, along with other athletes, they were used. They were used to turn Donald Trump into the enemy. D.C. insiders, they could not have another Donald Trump happen again. Look at what happened once Donald Trump was elected. Suddenly, Kanye West talking about running for president. The Rock talking about running for president. Career politicians that are presidential hopefuls now, they cannot win a popularity contest against a celebrity. So what do? They demonize Donald Trump. They make an example out of him. They try to ruin him. And the reason they did that was to deter other celebrities from running for president in the future. Anyway, got a little bit off topic towards the end there, but oh well. Give me your thoughts on the vaccine war going on in the NBA right now and the woke media turning their back on the league. Sound off in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.